Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a good day. And when I say a good day, I don't mean like everything is going perfectly. I mean that your mental health is sound and you're managing to navigate all the obstacles that life is throwing at you without losing your mind. If you feel like you need to stop and take a breath, do that, okay? Your problems will be waiting for you at the end of your breath. So don't be in a hurry to, go there. It's been a while since I recorded something. I was trying to get a number of guests to be with me, but technical issues and timing has made it hard. I'll keep trying. But today I wanted to talk to you about a thing that, has been on my mind for a bit lately, ever since the Black is King video came out, and that is our history and the fact that we not only have been, as Black people, oppressed for a long time, but it's not only African Americans who had their history stolen from them. For the last 400 years, Christianity and let me say white Christianity has stolen our history because they're the ones who wrote it. And it seems like we're just now waking up to the fact that there is more to us than just what we are told by our white written history books and our accounts from Ludwig Krapf and Christopher Columbus and the Portuguese and the Spanish and the whole white agenda and the whole patriarchal thing that they've done before, like, is it 400 years? Let's say from 1600 to 2020, we've been just in this bubble of whiteness, and we have been living with a narrative of whiteness, and now we are breaking those bonds. And it's so ironic that it took the whitest of white supremacists to make us all look around and say, wait a minute, I mean, these people are like the most useless, stupid, idiotic human beings on the planet. How have we been letting them dictate what we think for so long? And suddenly everyone is like opening up to the idea that, there's a lot more going on here. There's just a lot more going on out here. And personally, I haven't had time to really dig, and I don't know where to dig, but I would like to know more about me, Who were my ancestors really? Where did they come from? What did they wear? How were their relationships? We just recently discovered that we have words for like homosexuals in various languages, and yet according to Christians who have really drank the Kool-Aid, homosexuality was brought to us by Western, and I put that in huge quotes, Western ideals. So what is really the truth, and how can we access it? It's really been weighing on me, and I really feel like we have just been so we've been put in this little narrow-minded tunnel, where we're all squeezed together, and yet outside of that tunnel there's just so much. When there's this quote that there's just a lot more going on in the world that is covered in your religion, right? And this is just so true. It's so true. But we just have this, we just accepted this whole white Christian thing. I mean, what the fuck are we doing putting up Christmas trees? What does Christmas trees have to do with Christmas? What does the Easter bunny have to do with Jesus dying on the cross? Absolutely nothing. Those are white traditions. And white pagan traditions have taken over everything, so that Christianity... I mean, how is Anne-Marie a Christian name? Why is it a Christian name? Huh? Are there any Anne-Maries in the Bible that you know of? No. Did Jesus say that you have to be named a certain name for it to be Christian names? That is just white supremacist bullshit. We have just been so colonized that everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. And it's just blowing my mind. The more I think about it, the more I think about how we just accept things. We just accept it like it's some white guy wrote it, because some white guy wrote it 2,000 years ago. It's true. Not some white guy, a man wrote it. I mean, for example, this Black Lives Matter demonstrations. If you really examine the leaders of these demonstrations, they're all women. And it's just really a demonstration of who is it who affects change in the world. It's not men, but men write the stories, men control the narrative, and so in all the history books, men did everything. Men invented everything. White men invented everything. I mean, how is it that nobody ever questioned that? Nobody ever thought, wow, that's weird. How is it that only one tiny section of the population invented everything, discovered everything? I mean, it's stupid and impossible, and I don't know how we have been all asleep. The word woke, it started out as a joke. I'm old enough to remember when people used to say stay woke at the end of something that is obvious, but you're saying it it's new and people don't know it. And so at the end of it you say stay woke. For example, you could say pineapple is supposed to be on pizza. Stay woke, which, by the way, seriously, pineapple is supposed to be on pizza. And then it's turned into a real thing, stay woke, because of police brutality and police violence and killing people. And then now the white supremacists have taken the word woke and made it seem like a pretension. They've turned it into a pretension that people are pretending to be all liberated and shit. And that is what happens. And just seeing that process, I think, is what makes me know that this is what happens all the time. You have an idea, right? It's a good idea. It's a progressive idea. And then it is hijacked. It is hijacked by these whites. They're very good at hijacking. They hijack everything. And then they twist it. They twist it into something bad. And then in their effort to dismiss it. And they're trying to do the same thing with Black Lives Matter by saying it's a Marxist organization. I mean, it's so stupid, and I don't know how we've fallen for it for so long. But finally, they've shown their asses, with Donald Trump, because they just elected the worst of them. The worst of them. The one who doesn't know how to pretend to be better than he is. So now it's just obvious. It's so obvious that nobody can deny it except those who willfully deny it. So here we are. So this thing like saying, stay woke, right? It's just like some black queer people on Twitter brought it up, and then it was co-opted, and then it was co-opted again. And people's memories are like, everyone seems to have the memory of a gnat, No one can seem to remember what happened before 2 weeks ago or some shit. So frustrating. So anyway, back to who are we? Who are we really? And how much have we been so shackled, so put down, that we are just like accepting the tiny limits that have been put on our possibility. It's so, oh God, when I think about it, I feel so frustrated. I feel so annoyed. I feel so like, wow, for real, stay woke. Open your eyes and wake up. And so, like, recently, Chimano from South Soul, he came out as gay, right? Chimano is, I've always thought that he was, queer leaning, shall I say. And I shall continue this in a moment. Sorry about that, people. I had to go and let the exterminator in. I have rats in my ceiling. Life is so scary. Anyway, back to Chimano. So he came out in a photograph, and I, for one, did not even realize he was coming out in that photograph. I just thought that the guy standing next to him was like maybe the producer. So it took people online saying how people are hating on Chimano for coming out for me to get it, because I'm just that slow. And when I looked at the reasons why people are hating on him, they're not really hating. They're just like, oh my God, that's so terrible. Are you okay? Oh, that's a sin, or it goes against the ancestors. I mean, it sounds so ignorant. It's so ignorant. And I was just really asking, I can't help myself sometimes. I just have to answer when something is just like, this is so stupid. I have to say something. And I just asked this guy, like, do you really even know your own history? Like, you're saying this is like a sin against the ancestors. Do you know anything about the ancestors? Do you know what their lifestyle was like? You do not. You just have this like Christian bubble and this missionary who was trying to take your land away from you told you that this is wrong because it doesn't fit in their narrow-minded, stick up their ass view of the world, right? It's a way for them to control you, because if you are not you're not like adhering to their narrow views of what is right and what is wrong, then you might like start questioning all the other things that they're telling you, right? So I just had to give this man a little like nudge and ask him, could you like find out for real, read a book and really find out what was the ancestors, these ancestors that you're invoking, What was their lifestyle really like? What did they really think? Yeah, before you start putting your prejudices on this perfectly happy young man with an angelic voice who blesses us with angelic music, and you want to make him feel bad about the fact that he's in love with a man. I mean, really, have a seat. So, yeah, so that was like, everything is connected. Everything is connected. All our so-called biases and prejudices, they're all connected. Racism, homophobia, transphobia, all of it, it's all connected, and it's all about the patriarchy wanting to control you. So if you are not in subscription to that ideology, I beg you, think. You don't even have to read, just think. Okay, I'll give you like one example. Pork. Okay, in the Bible, you're not supposed to eat pork, and the Muslims also say that you're not supposed to eat pork. And if you just like ask yourself one question, right? Like, if God created all these things, right? He created pigs, he created goats, he created cows, but of all the animals that exist, that people eat, including dogs and frogs and snakes, he decided that no, pigs are too dirty. You can't eat pigs, they're too dirty. God decided that. Was it God? Was it God, or was it just a bunch of men somewhere? Just ask yourself, does it make sense? If you ask yourself, just anything, if you're told you can't question this, do not question this thing. If someone does not want you to question something and makes it a sin for you to question something, or say, if you question this, you're unpatriotic. Colin Kaepernick is unpatriotic for questioning why police can kill black people with impunity. If you question why you can't eat pork, you are a sinner, you are a bad Muslim or a bad Christian, whatever. Ask yourself why. Why is it that things cannot make sense, that somebody cannot explain to you in a way that a 2-year-old would understand why this thing makes sense? Ask yourself. And if there's no answer, it's because there is no answer. That thing is an arbitrary piece of bullshit. And I'm not trying to impugn on anyone's religion or hate on anyone's religion. Believe what you believe. But ask yourself, why do I believe this, and does it make sense? So anyway, I don't like to take these things for too long, so I'm going to stop there. There will be a companion piece on my blog if you care to read it. And I wish you a good evening, or a good morning, or a good afternoon. Mwah.